Everyone seems to think ArriveCan will be shelved as soon as next week, and of course I hope it will be. But I'm also a bit skeptical because if you look at ArriveCan as a health measure, of course it should be scrapped. It's ridiculous. I mean, even sleepy Joe Biden knows the pandemic is over.
Mr. President, first Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. And so I think it's changing, and I think this is a perfect example.
The whole world is over it now, not just Florida. It's a joke now. Wearing a mask now is a joke. Imagine quarantining for 2 weeks, even if you're not sick, even if your test says you're not. It's never been about health. It's not about health. It has never been about health. So if you think that this might be ended for health reasons, you are missing the whole point. The app was not made to deal with COVID. It's the other way around. COVID was the excuse used to justify the app. The app isn't the means to the end. It is the end result itself. It's what they want. COVID was the excuse, the justification. Just ask the World Economic Forum's deep thinker, Yuval Noah Harari.
And COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
That's why I'm not 100% convinced Trudeau will give up ArriveCan. First, because he hates the unvaccinated and anyone else who ever opposes him. He says as much.
Would you support policies that prioritized vaccinated patients over those who are unvaccinated, who are in there because they made that choice?
I have heard from healthcare professionals across the country who are, as we know, exhausted from the past year and a half, who are worried about their own loved ones, who are working incredibly hard to keep all Canadians safe, whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, but who are expressing increasing frustration and little bits of anger that they are spending so much of their time trying to save people who could have saved themselves. And now is the time for people who are still resistant to getting vaccinated to realize that that choice, which has consequences on putting our kids at risk, which has consequences at having us risk more lockdowns because they haven't chosen to get vaccinated yet, that there will be consequences for those people in not being able to go to a gym or a restaurant, not being able to go to a movie theater, not being able to get on a train or a plane.
You don't want to comment on the triage because it's a provincial jurisdiction, but so are movies, so are gyms, all of those types of things. And you also say, you look pretty angry about it, that they're putting, kids and people who are vulnerable at risk. Are they not putting some people who may not get the treatment they need in hospitals at risk?
And yes, we can all say to a certain extent that it is unfortunate that people who chose not to get vaccinated are now the ones clogging up our ICU systems and our hospital beds that should be available for people who did their work and did get vaccinated. That is really unfortunate, and that is why we are unequivocal. They don't get to put others at risk by not getting vaccinated.
But second, Trudeau is fully on board with China-style social credit, tracking you, spying on you, punishing you. He doesn't want to give that up. Now, I hope this all ends next week, but even if they do end it, don't think they wouldn't try and bring it back in if they could. What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, You also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.